Episode 45 of the Back of the Class podcast. I'm Glenn Anderson.
I'm Ben Hanlon.
And before we start off this week's episode, I'd like to say huge thank you to our sponsors: VIR Electrical, Coco's Cakes, the Members First Credit Union, Balgriffin Inn, and Pitside Pizza and Grill. And this week we're joined by
Olivia O'Toole.
Thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks for having me, lads. It's great to be here.
How are you?
Good. The weather is great, that's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Busy at the minute?
Yeah, walking away and getting ready for the Euros as well. The Euros are starting tonight, the women.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Ireland girls is not in it, but you have to watch it just to see the great best players in the world, you know.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. What's the first game tonight?
Tonight is Switzerland and Norway. At the moment now, Iceland and Finland are playing. It's not the best.
Yeah.
No.
Where's it getting hosted over in Iceland?
In Switzerland and Basel, in 3 countries in Switzerland.
Yeah, Delhi, yeah.
I just love to go over there just to see the country and anyway, like Switzerland looks lovely.
Have you ever been?
No.
It looks deadly, yeah.
I have. I played with Ireland over there, but that was just like Friday, Saturday, Sunday home, like not a holiday. Like I'd love to go up to the Alps. We were asked if we would want to go up to the Alps, but it takes 2 hours up on the train and 2 hours back, so we hadn't enough time.
And what's it like when you fly over to a different country to have a match? Say you just strictly on business, you can't go and check things out around?
No, it's you have a regime, you have a, like you get into the, say, Thursday evening, you get in, you have a bite to eat. Friday morning you get up, you have breakfast, you'll train, lunch, and then you'll train after dinner, and then probably have a little match Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, talk about the game, and then Sunday we play. It
would just be like technical training, would it, or would it be?
Well, obviously the manager would do his analyst on the opposition team.
Yeah.
And tell us what way he wants us to play, and you know, put us into good positions to be able to even win or else even draw, like, because we weren't that good, that we always defended, you know what I mean? It was always 5-4-1.
10 behind the ball, so.
Yeah, 10 behind, park the bus, like, because we weren't good enough, but I was the one up front, like, and it's hard.
Yeah.
What's that like, being left there up on your own? Like that, it's
hard,
a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Yeah, you really, really need your midfielders, like, to be in sync with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I scored so many goals, because they were, like, Kara Grant, Siobhan Furlong, they all knew me game, like, and knew me runs and knew where I wanted the ball. And that's why I scored 54 goals, like, so. Because when then we only played actually 2 games a year for Ireland, which the majority of them were probably friendlies if we didn't get it, if we didn't qualify for the Euros.
Yeah.
So.
What's been the best city you've went to during your international career?
Salt Lake City.
Was it? Yeah.
In America, yeah.
Yeah.
We were going to New York and we got diverted because of lightning and stuff, and we stopped off at Salt Lake City, but coming into it reminded me of Ireland because of all the mountains, and it was just, you know, trams, mountains, it was just looked like Ireland, but it was a beautiful city, like.
Yeah. Do you want to bring us back to the start, Olivia, and tell us what life was like for you growing up and sort of what school was like?
Well, when I was growing up, and I grew up in Cherry Street, and I went to St. Olivia O'Toole school. The school is actually still there.
Beside the church there? Beside
the church, yeah. It's the little boys and the little girls school.
Yeah.
And then you have the St. Olivia O'Toole boys school across the road.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I started off there, and they didn't do sports in school when I was growing up. They never did. I think when I was 19, a teacher came in and he started doing Gaelic and football. That's not the only time it came in. So I didn't actually play sports in school. I used to play after school. I used to play in a pitch, and I'd be there till 9 o'clock at night. My ma calling me in for me dinner, and I'm not hungry, ma, you know, I just wanted to play. Because I was a street footballer.
Yeah.
There's not very many of them around, you know, like, we had 7 poles in the flat, and you got a pole. You had to guard that pole with your life. If they hit it, you were out.
Yeah.
So it went on for hours and hours. So that's where I learnt me trade, learnt me football with 5-a-sides in Cherry Street as well. And also my dad get me in to watch Match of the Day every Saturday as well. That was me first Match of the Day I looked at was George Best. He's probably too young.
Yeah, we know George Best, yeah.
Well, George Best was my idol growing up, and then because I was a midfielder
United
first.
fan then?
Huh?
United fan?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Don't
tough
tell
going.
anyone that.
Yeah.
And my dad got me mad into football. Like, I was memorised by him with a ball jumping around people. And then after him, it was Brian Robson, Ryan Giggs, Roy Keane, all the great players. Like, and I ended up playing for boys under sevens, Sheriff, and stayed with them till I was 16 because there was no girls' teams then.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I was playing a game and they found out I was a girl, and there was a big uproar over it because girls can't play with boys. And I was crying to my manager and I said, Bimbo, what am I going to do? Because there's no girls' teams. And he said, look, don't worry about it, we'll sort something. But eventually they got the rule brought down that a girl can play with boys. It's still the rule today, up to the age of 17. So it was changed then for girls to do it now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a good thing that came out of that. But the first girls team I played for was Drumcondra Ladies, and they were a senior team. I was 18, 19, and it was a bit daunting because they were all like women to me, you know, and
Yeah.
I was just like a little child coming into a playground. But what struck me was these girls could play like me. So I was taken aback that they could play the way I wanted to play, with passion, and wanted to win every game. And so when I seen girls playing the way I says, well, there could be a future in football, like for me to play. Because at the time they hadn't got girls football girls. I never played underage, never.
So did you, as you were growing up, did you have a dream in your head that you wanted to be a professional footballer?
Oh yeah, there was me. I had drank and slept football. Like, I literally brought a ball to bed with me. And I knew I'd never be a professional because then it just wasn't a thing. And even now it's hard to get a professional contract because you have to be fit, you have to be... But I just played for the love of it, the passion. I love putting on my Ireland jersey, and I love listening to me national anthem, and that passion for the game just kept me going. And I was a winner. I hated losing.
Yeah.
Bad loser, but shook the hand if you got lost, but underneath snapping, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But that's where I think how I made it in football was from my passion for football.
And when did you know then you wanted to be a striker and move from midfield into the striker
Well,
position?
I didn't really. I scored a few. I'd say I scored about 20, 28 goals when I played left side of midfield. And then Noel King, as you know, you're getting older, your age like comes into effect, and he said, I'm going to try you up front. So when he tried me up front, I just kept on scoring, and as I said, it was hard. But as the girls knew where I wanted the ball, and we knew how to counter-attack with a one striker, you know, so that's how I scored all the goals, and it was the best decision he ever made, because the best feeling in the world is scoring goals.
Yeah.
Especially just even for club or even for your country, but for your country it's unbelievable.
And when
I'd
you were
say-
starting out, like playing for Ireland, were you playing in the Aviva or was it up in Tallaght Stadium or where was it?
Eight home games in the AUL.
Was it, yeah?
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Because I know they still play in Tallaght Stadium now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then the odd game in Lansdowne. Like.
Yeah, well, they call it Tallaght the Women's Stadium. I don't think it should be the Aviva like the men. I mean, they're playing a playoff on the 24th of October
Yeah.
against Belgium in the Aviva. You know, and they will get 30 to 40,000.
Yeah.
And what annoys me as well about it, they're having matches on Tuesday evenings and Friday evenings where people from the country can't come up. Like, because the majority of people I played with is from the country.
Yeah.
And they can't come up and watch a game of a Tuesday evening and go home that night and then get up in that morning, you know. So I think they need to define it's either Friday or Saturday evening, one of the evenings, because the last game in Tallaght against, I think it was Slovenia, it wasn't a sold out because it was Tuesday evening, and I was asking where's everyone, and I only realised it was Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Where it was the weekend, the place would have been packed. I think whoever was organised, I know they have to walk around other teams playing the Aviva, the rugby, the football. But I seriously think a game should be in the Aviva.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'd say football took over a majority of your life. Like you probably had to make a lot of sacrifices in your teenage years, your early 20s and all. What was that like and how did that affect you?
Well, when I was 21, 22, the drugs epidemic came into Sharrow Street, the heroin came into Sharrow Street, and I've lost a lot of friends because of that. But how I got away from it was just playing football the weekend, because as you know, Friday night is the drinking night and the disco night is Saturday night. And I used to say to them, I said, I can't go just because I have to get up for training. And I lost a lot of friends over it because I wasn't in the gang. You know, so, and I feel like today that there's teenagers like yourself and girls, they're under so much pressure to go out, have a good time, and because the teenagers these days don't believe in just going for something to eat and go home. They sort of like have to do the drugs, do the drink to be in the gang. But you don't have to be in a gang to drink and take drinking drugs, because I didn't. My family did, my friends did, everybody did, but you have to have a strong willpower to say to yourself, I don't want that life, I want this life. So if I'd went left, I wouldn't be sitting here with you.
Yeah.
So I went down the right way. But you also have to have a strong personality, as in, say, your manager or your mentor, put your arm around and tell, like, people put their arm, just say, Livy, you don't have to be like that. You can be this. And I didn't believe I could be that, but they says to me I could be. So I believed in them that I could be. So that's why I went the opposite way.
Yeah.
And after you played for the women's team then from Sheriff, where did your career progress to then?
Well, when I left Sheriff Boys, the first girls team was Drumcondra Ladies, and I played with them for at least 8 years. And then I went to Raheny United and Shamrock Rovers, and not Shamrock Rovers affiliated over there, just the name. And Brighton Celtic, I only played for 5 teams in my whole career.
Yeah.
I was very loyal. The last team I played for, I was 37 years of age, for St Catherine's in Dublin. We won the FAI Cup and we won the league, and I was delighted for the manager, Brother Byrne, because I didn't play for him all the years because his team wasn't good enough to win, and I wanted to be on the team that won.
Yeah.
So I said to him one year, I said, I will play for you 1 year when I'm like, slowing down in my game and all. And
Yeah.
so when I went to him, we won everything. So I retired about 3 years ago, and he's just thanked me. He says, thanks very much for playing for me. I said, I always would. I always said I would play for you. This man is 73 years of age and he's been involved in football all his life.
That's deadly. Yeah.
That's mad, yeah.
He's brilliant.
And how did you find it then, leaving Sheriff to join Drumcondra?
Well, it was daunting because I didn't know there was a girls' team.
Yeah.
I didn't know that other girls played football like me.
Did you find it hard, like, to mix with new people?
Yeah,
That's
that's why I said it was like going into a new playground, and when I went in and Tricia introduced me, and I think my first game, I think the girls was all in all, like, because I probably scored a hat-trick or something, and we met, it meant a lot to me that they understood my passion for the game. So it was like water off a duck's back. We all gelled, and Drumcondra Ladies, if you look her up, we won everything.
Yeah.
Everything. We had air rivals like Belvedere and Elm Rovers and Dublin Bus. That's who we used to play. The leagues then years ago were brilliant.
More competitive,
More
do you think?
competitive, you're allowed tackle.
Yeah.
Good 50-50.
Yeah.
Where you can't even push a girl now, it's a free kick.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that, like I think I think the game has gone too easy. Especially the men's game. Like the likes of Neymar and all jumping around getting kicked. See girls doing 50-50 and the two of them just jump up and get on with it.
Yeah.
So I think the game, like the referee's gone too soft, let the game flow. And
Yeah.
this VAR.
So do you not like VAR?
I hate it. Yeah, only because they take too long. They should be like a rugby ref.
Yeah.
The ref says blah 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 and he says yeah and gone.
Yeah.
You know that, see, like, the way a lot of players come up and they moan at the ref, do you think it should be like the rugby, the way, like, there's only the captain
Yeah.
allowed to talk to the ref.
Absolutely, 100%. They did that with the football when Keane was playing.
Yeah.
Only the captain was allowed, but they never implemented it because you could see all the players still running at him. But as you said, the rugby is brilliant for that because the
Yeah.
ref only speaks to the captain. He goes upstairs,
Yeah.
comes back down and says, that's it. Takes
Yeah.
what? 10 to 12 seconds.
Yeah.
With VAR sitting there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Slows the whole.
And the
flow of the game.
referee seems to not be able just to make his own decision anymore.
Yeah.
You know, if he makes a decision, he's getting questioned on it. So then they're stopping the game. I want to look at VAR. So
Yeah.
to me, a game of football now is not 90 minutes. Probably 180 minutes now.
Yeah.
With all the stoppage and the thing. And there's no flow in the game anymore. I don't think so anyway.
Yeah.
What?
How was your Irish Oils growing up? Like, was there anyone you looked up to in the Ireland
Well,
squad?
there was... No, because there was no... men, yeah.
Yeah, like,
Well, Dennis Irwin, I loved him.
yeah.
He's my unsung hero because he was a stalwart for Man United for years and he never got a look in, never got praised, you know. And to me, he's an unsung hero and he was brilliant for Ireland as well. And there's a few that I liked in Ireland. The obviously one is Keane,
Yeah.
you know, because Keane, to me, has the passion that I have
Yeah.
for a game, like, and I absolutely understand where he was coming from
Yeah.
when he left Saipan, especially after having a chat with the manager 8 weeks earlier. I've done it with my own manager, like we've gone to Russia, Belarus, get there Thursday and we don't get air fuel till Saturday, so we're going home Sunday. So these things do happen, you know, and we played on pitches with potholes and manure on them, cows manure, everything like, but you don't give out because you're playing for your country. You know?
What was the first call up for your country like?
Well, them days it was letters.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. I got called up to Santry, and there was 500 girls Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You trained Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was whittled down Sunday to 250, and then Monday it was 200, and then you were told to go home, and then the following Monday or Tuesday you get a letter. So you're like sitting at the letterbox like that, waiting for it to fall,
Yeah.
waiting for the letters to come.
Did you know you were good enough?
No, I didn't know I was good enough because the girls that was there, same as me, you know, brilliant players, defenders, midfielders, all the same. But at the same time, you are nervous and apprehensive. Did I do well? Did I do this? But when the letter comes, it's brilliant. Like, it's a great feeling for a letter, like, and then the headline is the FAI, and it's either yes or no, you know. So obviously the no will be disappointing. But when it was yeah, I was like, man, I'm going to play for Ireland, and you know, I was like, yeah, that's great, Lee. My man hadn't got a clue.
Yeah,
You know, but my dad was like, gee, Olivia playing for Ireland, my brothers. So like, to get the letter and to play was brilliant. And we were playing Seville 2 weeks later in Spain, in
This is your
Seville 2 weeks later, the
debut?
European champion.
Yeah.
Me debut, yeah, and I scored a winner on the 85th minute, and that was some feeling because there was one Irish flag in the ground and it was the only one that was waving when I
Yeah.
scored. And the rest was 7,000 Spanish with Spanish flags. And I didn't really get the magnitude of what I've just done, but I only noticed when I got home because of the paparazzi were
Yeah.
everywhere. And you're like, you do understand this is the the first European Championship game Ireland's ever won away or at home. And so that was like a little record that I was at to do.
In your debut.
So I was proud of that, yeah.
Did you feel pressure going into the second match then, having that sort of weight in your shoulders? You're already at the breaking a record, you scored the winner in great fashion.
The actual the replay was same score 2-1. But I scored the first and I didn't score the second one.
Yeah.
We won 2-1. We won 1-0 over there and 2-1 over here. So I scored as well against Spain is my lucky team. I could have scored against them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it now, let me tell you, with all them in the squad
Yeah,
now.
the Spanish are good now, aren't they?
Half them down to win the Euros.
They,
They've two Ballon d'Or winners on
Yeah,
the only
Anna
they're Pateas and
Mateus and Benatti.
yeah.
She's only back. She got a viral infection there. She's training at the moment. I don't think she played the first game. She got a measles bite.
No way.
She's been in hospital, yeah, but she'll be there and like, she has to be there. Like, she's world class. They're brilliant.
Yeah.
And another girl out of Spain, Pina. What sure she'll be player of the tournament.
Do you reckon? Yeah.
Do you think there was a lot of weight on your shoulders throughout your career, with people relying on you and always looking to you for goals, and always, like, if they lose and they're like, "Wait, come on, Olivia, you need to help us."
Yeah, I've been blamed on a few losses.
Have you?
Yeah, the manager. And I just, we had an argument. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, it is my job to score.
Yeah.
And as I said, thing was 5-4-1, so I really needed me midfields to know how I played and where I wanted the ball. But I have been blamed on missing a penalty, missing, like, going to tournaments, 12 people in the tournament, and we come in 12th because I missed the penalty.
And how did you deal with things like that, like missing a penalty, and like how did you overcome that, like the mental side of things?
It's good that you're asked, because that game, the game I'm actually talking about, was against Wales in Portugal. It was a tournament, and during the game I took a penalty and I missed. And the game went to penalties, and I stood up and I took one. So for the mental block, you don't let it eat you upside. You go straight back in and do what you just did.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like a boxer. You know,
Yeah.
after getting hit and then coming back
Yeah,
with strength. I was like, they were like, "Livy, do you really?" I said, "Yeah, I want to take one. Like, it's sudden death." So, like, I took the last penalty and we won. So, but it's pressure that I invite. I
Yeah.
like pressure, you know what I mean? I like being under pressure, because I actually think I play better when I'm under pressure.
Yeah.
How do you stay passionate? How did you stay passionate throughout your career?
Practice makes perfect. Always practicing, always. Just, if I was playing a one-on-one with my sister, I had to win. If I was playing 7-a-side or 7 boys, I had to win.
Yeah.
If I was playing 11-a-side or 11 girls, I had to win. And I just don't know where it comes from. I think it's just the willpower to win and the willpower to say no years ago to heroin and all. It's a strong mentality thing,
Yeah.
especially where you come from, like Sheriff Street. Now, don't get me wrong, lads. I've lived in Ballymore and I lived in Amy Kent for 9 years. I lived down the road there as well for 4 years. I loved Ballymore. I think it was brilliant. It was great years ago. And it's very, very similar to Sheriff Street, where you're put under pressure to go drinking, you're put under pressure to rob, you're put under pressure to take drugs.
To fit in.
It's fitting.
What would you say to someone now who's in that situation? Maybe they're only teenager and they're trying to focus on football career or whatever it is, and they're getting pressured every weekend to go out or take drugs or fit in.
Well, if they're getting pressured every weekend, they're not their friends, like, you know, in the first place.
Yeah.
Because if they're friends, they were a friend, they'd ask them once, they'd say no, and that's it. But if they're getting pressured, they're not a friend, because the friend should understand that this boy or girl wants to go and pursue something that they love, and if they do what you want them to do, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to have self-belief in yourself and tell in your head, I know they want me to go, I know I want to go, but if I go, I'm not going to be what I want to be in life. So you have to have the willpower to say no, or else step away from it. If you don't step away and you're getting pressured every weekend, eventually they'll break you down and you'll do it. But if you do it and stop it, then they might be your best friend forever.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And what would you say to somebody like a young girl who's like struggling, say around 14, 15, playing in like a boys' league at the minute, that they can't find a team or whatever?
Well, I'd be inclined to tell them to speak to their parents, and their parents go to somebody who has authority and who knows where the girl can go and who knows what the girl needs. But the first thing she needs to do, if she's getting bullied, she has to take her out of that situation. Because a girl, especially if it's bias, she's playing with bias. Because it's happened to me. I've walked off a pitch crying. The manager puts his arm around me, gives it out to the boy, blah, blah, blah. And I go back on, and that's how he sorted it with me.
Yeah.
And the same with the girl, like, you put your arm around and just say, don't mind them, they're just jealous. You know why? Because you're better than them. Always believe that you're better than the person who's telling you you're no good. The person who's trying to say to you, you're no good, I don't want you here, you can't play. Always say to them, I'm better than you. And I'll show you, basically, you know. You can't just go into a little huddle and hide from a talent that you have, you know what I mean? So for that 14-year-old girl, I'd step her away from her, have a chat with her. What would you like to do? I can sort out the buyers if you want, but I can also get you onto a girls' team as well. You know, where she's comfortable. But when I was growing up, there was no girls' teams, but now at the moment, there's millions of girls' teams.
Yeah.
You know, so a girl getting bullied nowadays in a sports environment shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, like
You know,
it can be solved a lot easier.
solved on the spot,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Tell us a bit about the peak of your career. Or
Well, the
prime.
peak of my career was being around 28, 29. I won my first FAI Player of the Year award, and I got me driving licence that year as well.
Deadly.
And I carried the Olympic torch, so it all came at
Together.
once, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and I've achieved a lot, but I haven't achieved what I wanted to. I wanted to go to a European Championship. I wanted to go to a World Cup, but we just weren't good enough.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest regret, I'd say, in anyone's football, a girl in Ireland, because it was so not recognised, you know.
Yeah.
The nearest we got was Iceland, and we played them over here. We beat them 2-1, and we played them over there, and we literally played them on an ice rink. The match actually shouldn't have went ahead. And I said it to my manager at the time, and he said the only way this would be stopped is if one of you draw blood from a head injury, and like, because when you went onto the pitch, we were skating.
And slowly
If you go onto Eurosport, you'll see it, the highlights, because it was shown on Eurosport then. But I shouldn't have. But that robbed me of going to a European Championship, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the problem with football? Sometimes it's, as a team sport, it can be its biggest advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because it
Well-
all depends on the players around you, where you're going, really, doesn't it?
Well, somebody says to me about 10 years ago, it's like Ryan Giggs at Wales.
Yeah.
You know, like top player, but brutal. International.
Yeah.
But my team, like, I mean, if there was 4 girls that I played with, Kayla Grant, Emma Bourne and Yvonne Tracy, they played for Arsenal at the time, the women, and went on to win the Champions League. So I wasn't playing with bangers, you know, we were a good team.
Yeah.
We just didn't get the luck of the draw when we used to get the top teams, you know, because you're down low.
Yeah.
So every group we always got Sweden. Like Sweden beat us 7-0, you know. So we never got the luck of the draw where it's, say, Wales, Ireland and Northern Ireland, you know, giving us a chance to get out of a group.
Yeah.
We never got a chance to go out of that game. I told you, the Iceland game was the only.
The closest
Yeah,
it's got.
like any other group, if you go, you look at the scores, they're 4-5-0, 6-0, 7-0, because it was all against Denmark, Norway, all the top teams around then. We
Yeah.
always used to get in their group.
What was your favourite goal you scored or match you played in?
My favourite match I played in was in Salt Lake City, 20,000 people, against New York, or against the USA. It was just completely different from going out in Richmond Park to 300 people
Yeah.
to going from 20,000, you know, and
Yeah.
I was in awe. I was like, wow, my God. And that was 20 years ago. So the women, is 15, 20 years ahead of every single nation that
Yeah.
women football plays. They're 10 or 15 years in England, Germany, that's ahead of everyone. Because then there was 20,000 going to see it, and there's 80, 90,000 a week now going to see it.
Yeah.
And I just like when the game was over, like kids asking for your autograph, which we never got in Ireland, you know, and it was great because we were nearly on the pitch for nearly 3-4 hours after the game, giving
Yeah.
autographs. And I was like, this is what a professional footballer does, and this is what I want. And it never happened.
And do you think that young Livy would have, like, known that you were going to be an FAI Hall of Famer? Like, do you think you would have been able to believe it?
Never. No, like, I mean, I played football for fun and played for Ireland for fun. I never even knew about awards until the first one come up. And like to win out 23 girls, it's absolutely unbelievable. Like I won it 3 times. I won the Special Merit Award, I won the Legends Award, and the last one I won was the Hall of Fame. So you literally can't win anything else. You know, and I think I'm the only girl in Ireland that can say I've won all them.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else has. But the thing that like stands out for me was carrying the Olympic torch walking through Sherrill Street. That was better than like walking out and playing for your country, because I was walking down the street with the Olympic torch, Katie Taylor in front of me, and just all my family, my friends, and it was just a moment that like nobody will ever get. You know what I mean? Like, because I was looking down my street that I grew up playing football on the street, and here I am now walking down the street with an Olympic torch in my hand. So that was a great achievement for me. Brilliant achievement.
So like off that point, what advice would you like give to anyone like in the younger generation, like for life advice?
Well, what I'd say, like, I mean, please stick to school. Go to school, get your education. Unfortunately, I didn't go to school. I left school under circumstances, 13 years of age. But you do need your education, because I mean, there's scholarships in America for girls that you go to college and plus you play football. And now it's happening in England. So for a girl growing up now into football, the opportunities are endless. They're endless. I mean, our league at the moment, the women's, that's thriving now. Like, I mean, there's Katie Keane going to Bristol. There's millions of Irish players now at the moment in England. But it's not only England, you can go to Norway, Sweden, Germany. They're all doing scholarships. So if you're a 15, 16-year-old girl coming up to your leaving and you want a gap year, do that. If you play football, go and have a scholarship, go to places, train in them, see how you feel. Don't stick to the one
Spot.
Yeah, I'd like them to travel, because every single country has different methods of bringing up a footballer, you know. Like, for instance, we haven't got academies here for young kids from the FAI, like, you know, from school to academies. Where in Germany, Norway, Switzerland, they have that. They have it everywhere. In European countries, they have it everywhere. I've gone to the FAI, I've spoke to them about it, we need it. You know, like, the kids come out of school, 6 years of age, 2 hours of football, go home, get your dinner and homework, and they still have time to play. You know, so that's the method I want the FAI to get into. Like, we need academies for the likes of the 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, because there's a gap here as well. There's under 15 and then it's 19.
Yeah.
There's no 17,
18.
know.
Yeah.
So we need the gap to be filled. And the way I think it can be filled is by bringing them into academies. You know?
Clearly, yeah.
How did you stay involved in football after your retirement?
I managed to St. Catherine's Ladies, and then just recently I was managing Usher Celtic Ladies. I've took a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've my first time in probably 40 years that I haven't been involved in football this year. I just says to myself, I said, have a break and see what I'll do. And I'm enjoying, I'm going out watching football and going out watching matches and doing other stuff and doing podcasts, you know. So my life doesn't revolve around football anymore, which it did.
Yeah. What was the proudest goal you've scored?
My first one, my debut.
The debut?
Yeah, my debut, because as I said, I didn't know the magnitude, I didn't know how big it was. I just scored for Ireland and that was it. And
how did that feel? Sorry for cutting across you. How did that feel, scoring in your debut, from looking back when you were 7 years of age, younger, even with your dad beside you training all the time, drilling the football into you? Was that like a...
Yeah, it was a
great
surreal
moment
moment. Like,
for you,
I mean,
weren't you,
that's
that?
the first people I thought of, because I actually couldn't celebrate because I got a dead leg, so I was on the ground. And I was like, you know, screaming on the ground, but I couldn't get up. But it's mad you say that, because the first person I thought about was my dad and my family. Them screaming at home, looking at me scoring, like, and me wanting to be with them, but also wanting to be on the pitch. You know, and trying to be in two places at the one time.
Yeah, I get you, yeah.
But I was imagining them, I was picturing them, I rang from the hotel room. I had to put away my hair because they were all screaming. Like. So that was a very proud and immense moment for me, that was.
If you could go back in time, is there anything you'd change or do differently?
Well, obviously I changed the narrative of women being non-professional. If I'd have been able to, if I'd have having the things that a girl has now,
Yeah.
if all the girls that I played have having the things that the girls have now, like the nutritionist, the SNA, the S&C, you know, everything, the physio, we'd nothing. We'd just turned up for football and that was it. I think we barely had a physio, do you know what I mean? So like, if we'd have having all that then, I think the team that we had then would have been better than the team we have today. 100%. If we'd have having the resources and, you know, like
The knowledge sort
the
of.
pasta and the chicken and
Yeah.
you know, like I didn't know a nutritionist in my life
Yeah,
until about 5 years ago.
yeah.
You know, when I went into a female conference about female athletes, and he was going on about how carbs help you and how chicken helps you and I never knew, I didn't know none of this, and that was about 6 or 5 years ago. So somebody coming into us probably 20 years ago and saying that we probably laughed, you know, but the benefits we would have got from it would have been unbelievable.
How different was it from playing football to managing football?
It's completely different, because I was told I had to like relax because not every player plays like Olivia,
Yeah.
you know, so I thought everyone could kick the ball and hit the ball and score like Olivia.
Yeah.
So when
I
I'm
remember,
screaming,
sorry, I couldn't go. I remember Paul's telling us the first time he met you at I think it was a charity match in Shelbourne, and he didn't really know who you were at the point, and you took the ball down, put a top corner or something.
yeah, I scored a winner, I chipped the keeper.
Yeah.
That's why we were playing with Damien Duff and all. It was a good game. But there was two girls in the crowd running them up because they wouldn't. Damien Duff just wouldn't pass me the ball.
Yeah.
So when Sean Cook passed me the ball over the top, I beat the defender and the ref or the keeper came out and I chipped him. And Damien Duff was the first fella, Timmy. And I was like, will you please pass me the ball? He says, I will now.
Yeah.
You know, so like stuff like that, like I love doing, like playing charity matches. I'm actually doing another one for Shell soon. So, but what was the question you asked?
How different was it from managing?
Oh, the
to
management, yeah. As I said, I wanted everyone to play like Olivia and score like Olivia, and it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
100% doesn't work like that. So you work with the girl's strengths, you know, like, so she's a left footer. So I put her left side midfield, right side midfield, left full, left. But it's very hard not to get on the pitch. And I have got on the pitch, I've gone and goaled.
Have you?
Yeah, once or twice,
Jeez.
because players haven't turned up.
Yeah.
And I've played out.
Yeah.
And like my age is, you know, I can, and my brain wants to play, but my body can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very hard to be a manager and not play, or to be a manager and to be a coach. From playing to a manager, it's very hard. It's not. People think it's easy. It's not easy at all. Because I mean, you're playing with these girls, you're friends with them, then you're a manager, and then you're dropping them. So like it's, and especially girls, they talk, they bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very hard, but I enjoyed every bit of it. I loved it.
You lose your friends as manager then, would you?
Mm.
How tough was it making decisions as a manager?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've dropped a few and got a few texts and phone calls after the game, like, Livy, me mate, what a good story.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to define a friend or a colleague to your good friend, you know what I mean? So I had to say to them, during the 90 minutes, during the 100 minutes, I'm not your friend, I'm not your this, I'm just your manager, I'm your coach, I'm nothing else. So then that 90 minutes is over, we can go have a cup of coffee after the game if you want to have a chat.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to define it like that. Because I had 16-year-olds and I had 34-year-olds. 34-year-olds understand, but 16-year-olds going, why are you not playing me? You know, so
Yeah.
put your arm around her and make sure she's all right, and tell her she'll be getting on in a few minutes, and she doesn't get on for another half an hour, like, so.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I love managing, but I just needed a break. I needed just to get away for a while, because it does get overwhelming. Because managing is not just managing. Managing is being a counsellor. It's being there for your 23 players 24/7. It's being able to talk to every individual, you know, so it's not just turning up, picking a team and training and playing.
Yeah.
Far from it. It's completely,
It's a lot
as
more
I
in the
said,
background.
a lot more in the background. Like, we'll put it this way, I've never heard so much in my life. Olivia, my name is, they call me Livy for short, for Olivia. Livy, I can't make train, I'm going through it. And I was like, all right. Another one going through it, another one going through, and I'm like, what's all these girls going through? So when you speak to them, then they tell you what they're going through, and I'm like, but the best thing you could have done was come training.
Yeah.
To get out of your head, you know. Don't be letting all this come into your head. Because we started up Usher Celtic during COVID, because girls were going off their head, because they had nothing to do. There was no gyms open, so we went up to Memorial Park, so 100 yards by 100 yard space, started playing, and we ended up making a team, Usher Celtic ladies.
I just think the hardest part of football is.
Well, for me, it was retiring.
Yeah.
Very, very hard. Very hard.
How did you know you had to retire?
Well, when you don't get picked anymore, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the last, I'd say, 3 years on my island career, not club, I was sort of getting left on the bench at the start, and I'd rather start than get took off, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of going on.
Yeah.
So I said that to Noel, and he agreed. So, I don't know, the conversation didn't even really come up. I was like, Noel, I'm done. He says, yeah, I know you're done. I was done. I asked him, could I come off against Romania? Now, don't get me wrong, it was 40-degree heat. And I was like, no, I can't. I could not breathe. And I was 36 around that time. So I got another year off Ireland. And I just said to myself, it's time to hang up the boots. But I didn't, not for club, just for international.
Yeah.
And what's been the hardest obstacle you've had to overcome in your career?
People telling me I can't do this and I can't do that.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went. And that's why my achievements I'm very proud of, because I've got people saying to me, what are you doing on the boys team? You know, you little this, you little that, you'll never amount to nothing. And why don't you come and take drugs and drink, Livy? You're not going to make it as a footballer. I was always told all my life, even my own teacher told me, I'd never amount to nothing. And I told Paul the story. She retired, and I made it my business to go to a retirement party. And I said, I think I made it, Miss Nagel. She says, oh, Miss O'Toole, you did. You played for Ireland, you carried the Olympic torch. And I said, I just wanted to tell you, I told you I'd never amount to nothing. So I was able to go back to somebody who told me that I amount to nothing and tell her I did. And the pleasure I got out of it.
Yeah.
Pleasure. But she was nice about it, and we got on, we talked, and we had a cup of tea. And I mean, people, she probably didn't think she was going to see me ever again, do you know what I mean? Because as I said, I left school when I was 13. And she probably says to her that O'Toole one is not going to amount to anything, you know, so... That
Just
was,
shows
How do you
show.
overcome that? Because we even get that. Me
yeah.
and Glenn get that. People telling us you can't do this, you can't do that. You won't be able to
And
do
what
this.
do you say to them?
We just
go and do
show
it.
them with the results. Yeah.
That's it. Show them the results. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, you can't answer, you can't tell them with your mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can tell them and this and that, and you can't. How you show people up is by the result.
Yeah.
And you are at the proving everyone wrong. I think his podcast is brilliant.
Thanks
I
a
think
lot.
it's brilliant.
Yeah.
For two lads from Ballymun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yous are like a bit like me from Cherry Street. Yous are defining everyone. Yous are not going out drinking every weekend,
Yeah.
taking drugs. So you should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, even to this day though, even though we still have something going for us, like you still have people telling you nah, don't, you shouldn't be doing this, who do you think you are, this and that. And,
Yeah, sure, I've
but
been
you
told
just-
that by adults as well
yeah,
recently, and like, well, for instance, I was told I'm talking bollocks, you know, the
yeah.
podcast. I was, Olivia, that's your sort of podcast. And I says, what sort is that? And the person couldn't answer me. Like, what sort is, like,
Yeah.
what sort in inner city?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? This was a posh from Dublin 4
yeah,
saying to
yeah.
me, oh, that's your sort of,
podcast.
you
yeah.
know, like, so to me, looking at him saying that, and I'm like, you define them, you give them the results, and the results is the podcast got 5,000 views, so I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know,
yeah.
so
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
don't listen to anybody that's negative.
Yeah,
Because there's an awful lot of negative. People will talk to you and have a conversation, but in between, there's little bits that's negative.
yeah,
And it's probably the negative bit that you hear, where the good bit you don't.
Mm.
But always, like, just always believe in yourself. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't. See that word can't? I hate the word passion. Because God loves a tryer, I hate a crier. You know what I mean? So you try and you do it. You practice, you make perfect. So you shut them up by giving them results.
yeah. That's something I'm learning now along the way. Like I can't surround myself with somebody negative, somebody who doesn't believe in themselves, somebody who always has something to moan about,
Yeah.
or somebody who always has a chip on their shoulder. I just can't do it, because that sort of stuff, I feel like that rubs on you, and who you surround yourself with is very important.
Very
because
important, son. Very
that
important.
shows you like where you're gonna go. Like even if I'm around somebody with their school, work, friends, and they're moaning or they're bitching about something, I'm just like, I cannot be around you. I don't want to be around somebody who always has something bad to say and doesn't see the positives in life.
Yeah,
the
because
more
it rubs
positives you'll
off
see,
you.
yeah,
And
exactly.
son, like, I mean, you're right. Because negative people, they rub off you, and you instantly get down.
Yeah,
And I'll ask you a question. If you're walking along the street now, you're with your friend, and your friend is playing taunt, you know, like scream, do you get embarrassed?
Mm.
I get embarrassed.
yeah,
I'm like, you can't be doing that around, like, me, like,
yeah.
you know, because I don't do that, and I don't like you doing it either, you know. So if you want to do that, go somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I mean, playing, opening bus doors, you know, messing like that. Like, you can't do that if you want to be something or become something in life.
Yeah,
You
we
can't.
like there's people even along the way that sort of fell off our bus because they're just going down the different path to us, and you can't drag everyone up with you, you know what I mean? Some people you just have to focus on your own thing and make sure you're alright, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
sometimes you have to step back and look at yourself and then say, right, I'm looking after myself, no one else.
There's actually something Glenn told me a while ago and I loved it. It was KSI, you know, the YouTuber Jounce Prime
Yeah,
and that.
yeah.
Not really a fan of him, but
No,
what he
neither
said
am I.
this was he said anybody that comes up to me and they're like okay, so you're gonna do this, so I'm gonna be the next, say, big podcast, or I'm gonna be the next YouTuber, straight away he says to them, no, you're not. And if they walk away saying, oh, do you know what, you're probably right, he'd say, well, you're never gonna make it. But if they say, yeah, I am, what you're talking about, then he
Yeah.
says, well, then fair play to you, you already have that belief, not even listening to me or respect that, you probably are gonna make it.
Well, that's a man Speed as well. He made it from being
Yeah,
upfront with people and saying,
Out
yeah,
there.
I am going to make it. I am going to talk to Ronaldo. I am going to...
Yeah.
You know, he's talked to our whole football world
Yeah.
by being confident
Yeah.
in what he does.
Yeah.
So that's what you need
Sure,
as well.
he's played like I have to say I do love Spade just for his
Yeah,
comment.
yeah.
Like he's played in charity matches with like Frank Ribery
No,
and all.
I know.
And like this fella just started sitting
like
there
that.
streaming.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's sitting there pinging balls to Iron Robin and all. And I'm like, this is mad.
I think it's brilliant. He's everywhere. He's
Yeah.
absolutely
I
everywhere.
remember
But-
seeing him on Sky Sports
as-
and I was like, is
yeah.
that right? I was scratching my head and all.
But
saying,
as you said, if he went up to KCI, Speed wouldn't have said, all right, man. Speed went, yeah, I am. I'd
Yeah.
agree. I'll have this.
Yeah.
And he has.
Exactly.
He has 3 million, 4 million followers or something.
Yeah. 30 million he has now on Instagram.
Speed?
Yeah.
My God.
So I
He
remember
has,
he was
yeah.
he was doing this stream in China. He was
So
on
he
he was
was
on a
on-
train and there was loads of people behind him like looking, and he was like, is there any stream snipers on this train, meaning somebody who follows him by a stream?
Yeah, yeah.
Every single person on the train put their hand up and they all start running off for autographs,
Yeah,
pictures,
yeah.
everything, and
But
it's
the funny thing
crazy.
about
But I mean,
this-
you can generate that as well.
Yeah.
by having confidence.
Yeah.
Like, go into Shelbourne, say, I'm speaking to him tonight, you know, like,
Yeah.
that's what Speed did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got, like, this little badge, like, that you get to get into a media place.
Yeah.
Like, a accreditation form you need, and then just send it in. If you get it, you get it.
Sure,
You don't, you don't.
it's
Look
forced.
at the draw, you could get it for Ireland against Portugal, the
Yeah.
men.
Sure,
Exactly.
even,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so-
actually forgot to even say this to him. Spade was speaking on a podcast and he was saying that, like, they were at, your man who was doing the podcast was asking him, did you know, because he done this world tour where he done a stream in every country, and the first one was at the Sidemen charity match, and it was in a small stadium. I think it could have been in Ipswich's stadium, and he goes, I didn't have my next plane ticket, he said. I couldn't afford it. He said I had to take it, for our example, it'd be like a credit union.
Yeah.
So you had to get it out of the bank in America, and he was like, if this stream doesn't do a certain amount of
Thanks.
viewers, and if I don't do something on the stream, I won't be continuing this tour.
Well,
But
there
he
you
said
go.
thankfully it worked out, and he was just going along the way with his plane tickets, and now he's a millionaire.
This
like,
is what I'm saying. Like, I mean, you can do the same, lads. That's the God's honest truth. Like, have confidence in everything that you do. Everything. Because I can't believe the confidence that young fella has.
yeah,
And then, like, I mean, as you said, he started off on a stream.
yeah.
And a stream is so easy to do. When you think
yeah.
about it,
And
if you
he
have
had
a-
one viewer on his
Yeah.
first stream. Now he gets about 1 million every stream.
Yeah, yeah.
It's mad.
Well, I'd love you to generate 30 million
Yeah.
followers, you know what I mean?
We are.
It'd be brilliant.
We are, yeah. Just it's all about persistence. I
Yeah.
think you just have to keep showing up every day. Like anybody that's like that, like Spade is at that 10 years, but everybody only knows him that 11th year when he
Yeah,
blows
Spade's
up.
at
do you know
that
what I mean?
since he's 13.
Yeah, I
And
seen
he's
him about
20 now.
7 years ago. I'd seen him on
Yeah.
YouTube. But as I said, like, I know by looking at yous have the mentality to go very far.
Yeah,
Because I know by speaking to yous, I know what yous want. Not what yous want, but I know what yous can achieve.
Yeah.
So,
Like-
like,
Even people around that say that to us, like we, not even saying this to myself, Ron, but we rub off people a certain way because I'm always telling, if somebody comes up to me with an idea or this or that, I'm saying, yeah,
That's
shoot for the moon, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
not? Like,
no negative.
yeah, not
No,
negative.
positive.
Like, look at the positives. Look what you can do with this, and this, and they're like, oh yeah, but what if this happens? I'm like, well, there's your problem already. You're not thinking it's gonna work out.
Brilliant.
Yeah, just you have to like.
Yous have
I'm
got
convincing
the right...
anybody just shoot for, like, me and Glenn's put, like, we're only about a year into this now, and I think what we're at the building already is
Unbelievable.
good, but we're still striving for more. We're still hungry. Like
Always
every
try.
weekend we're in town trying to meet someone, trying to make the right contacts, trying to get media passes, trying to organise someone for a podcast during the week. We're in here shooting podcasts. We're
Brilliant.
trying to get better gear, looking for sponsors. We're always just dedicating our lives to this and gonna make it
Because
work
you
for
want it to
ourselves.
work.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly, and I know by his work ethic, I know his that mentality, it is going to work.
Yeah.
I know it is, lads. I swear to God, it's a great podcast. I seen yous about 5 months ago, and I think he's had 13 views or something. Like.
Yeah.
But I watched it. I listened because I liked the. I don't know who he's had on. About 5 months. I don't know who it was, but I listened because I was interested. Do you know what I mean? So that's another view. You know, like, and then what Lionel Richie has had. Like,
Yeah, we had Lionel Richie, yeah.
Was that outside Crow Park? Or
No, it
was
was outside this hotel. We just, once again, we went into town, met the right person. He set it up. We had the confidence to go up and ask him the question. We didn't get much time, but we got more time than anyone else.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Nobody else got it.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
just there the weekend, we had somebody, Bryson Tiller.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure if you know him. He had a song with Rihanna,
Yeah,
Wild
yeah,
Thoughts. He has
yeah.
a song with DJ Khaled, has a song with Drake. And his brother really respects us because we were talking to his brother for about an hour. And we were telling him, this is where we're going to go. This is where we're at now. This is the views we're doing. This is the persistence we have. And his brother follows us and said, I believe you. I'm going to follow this journey and see where it goes. And he said, my brother really respects you. I might have been talking to him. He's on the way down to the room now. We can set up this interview. And we got the interview, yeah.
Brilliant. Do you know, like, persistence.
Exactly,
You know?
yeah.
It's great. I think it's great. Keep doing what you're doing.
deadly.
You know what I mean?
Thanks a lot. I'll take us out on the episode.
About now,
Thanks,
like that.
very
Sorry,
no,
else wanna
well,
plug?
I was just like, it was enjoyable. I love chatting to you. I think his podcast is brilliant. And the very best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks a lot for coming in.
Episode 45 Back in the Class podcast wrapped up.